Hey y'all, welcome back to Words and Wine. We have a special guest with us here today, our good friend Tina.
Hey y'all.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
And today we are gonna make sex in the driveway.
Yes. So ingredients: Sprite, peach schnapps, white rum, and blue Morocco. So let's see. We're gonna do an ounce of peach schnapps. We really don't know if it's an ounce or not.
We guess.
But fuck it.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yes,
So
go for it.
halfway through the episode, you know, if you get a little lit,
We know
you
it was
what
more
happened.
than an ounce.
I'm just gonna say that's an ounce. Oh shit! It's supposed to go in here.
Bloopers.
Should I make it one at a time? Cause this is for one drink.
Yeah. Then I guess
Yeah,
you
just
have
one
to.
at a time. All right, cool. Peach schnapps.
Jay is a professional bartender.
I'm not. Y'all seen what happened last time.
That was
Sheesh.
something.
Okay. Boom. And they said the blue stuff. And then you finish it with the Sprite. More than 1 ounce of Sprite though. I'm gonna let you know that right now. It's a
Are
little
you
bit
sure?
wild, bro. Cause it's a lot of alcohol for you know.
What does it smell like? Oh, it's actually really sweet.
Ooh.
It has a really sweet smell. It's good.
Oh yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Alright.
Come on, you
It
didn't
was
see
slow,
that happening?
man.
You got to go ahead.
I thought it was gone.
All right, how much Sprite do you want?
I don't know whose drink is
Eyeball
that.
It's gonna be our guest.
Okay,
Tina's
that's
friend.
gonna be your drink.
Okay. That's good.
Oh,
Look at
okay,
me. That's
Tina.
good. We don't that much Sprite.
Okay.
We want
A
to
little
feel it.
splash, a little
Yeah,
splash.
Yes,
Right.
splash.
We just gonna
Like
from last
mimosas.
time we're not gonna actually shake
Yeah.
it.
We're just gonna
The way we gonna
swirl.
swirl it around
swirl it around.
so the top don't come off.
Okay. Yeah, I know I love me a little nice drink.
Nice. Looking
Put
like
some
the
more
color
Sprite
needs
in
to
there,
look.
too, but Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All
Okay.
right.
That was a little good. Here I go.
All right,
Sorry,
Next.
same thing. Boom.
this is you.
Mhm.
So you put as much as you like.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy now. These are pretty.
I wonder why they chose blue though.
That's a great.
For
Ooh.
Sex in the driveway?
Sex in the driveway.
Right.
I know it could have been like pink, you know.
Could have been green.
Could have been red.
Ooh. How much? Sorry, you want a little splash?
No, I need some Sprite. Y'all
More?
tripping. Yeah, I need more Sprite.
More?
Yeah, that's cool.
So basically, you want some water?
I'm way.
Water on the rocks, please.
Stop.
Swirly
Y'all
swirl.
got me.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Alright.
Swirly swirly.
Boom. Yeah, you see how mine's light?
Okay.
Yeah, I put
it's
enough
real
Sprite.
fizzy in there. Real fizzy
Yeah,
in there.
when y'all lit, I'ma be good. I'ma be good. Alright, let's see. Alright, Tatiana.
Uh-oh.
What do you do?
That's good.
No, that's good. You need a whole ounce.
So why'd you ask me?
You need a whole ounce.
Today's topic is going to be about sex education, which is why we're having sex in the driveway. Which is very fitting.
Very fitting. And Tina, what's your title? Like,
Okay, so I'm a counselor.
She is a counselor.
she knows a lot about this topic, guys. She's bringing a lot of insight, a lot of value to our episode. We are lucky to have Tina.
Very.
Okay?
I'm nervous. Okay.
All right. Let's get it cracking. We about to cheers.
All right.
Yours is really full. Mine might be too.
I know. Y'all want to
So
just
y'all
a
gotta
little
get y'all
dabble
best?
of.
All messed up.
That was you. You said that's enough. I was like, okay. All right, that's enough Sprite for you. All right, man. Let's get these out of the way. Cool. All right. We about to cheers,
Yeah.
and let's see what it is.
There is.
See what-
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, let's
see.
taste this. Ooh.
Ooh.
Why'd I say a little Sprite?
Yours is strong, huh?
That's all right.
Mine's
Mine's
pretty you.
Mine's not bad.
I'm
It's
I'm
okay.
refreshed
Mine's
right
real
now.
slippery, but it's all right. It's good.
You
I'm
wanna
gonna
ask
take my
my
time. No.
She
We gonna
good.
have. I need
She
a little
can
bit.
handle hers.
Need this juice.
Sheesh. Okay, cool.
All right, tune in.
Tune in.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It's Words and Wine. This is your host, Tati, and
Jay.
we have a special guest with us here today. Her name is Tina. Woo!
Hey y'all.
Thanks for joining us, Tina. We really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And so today we're going to be talking a little bit on sex education with an emphasis on orgasms. So without further ado, before we get in there, let's cheers. We're having sex in the driveway.
Yes.
Cheers to a
Cheers.
nice episode.
Good. They hit.
Mm.
They hit.
Facts.
All right, well, let's just dive right in. So what's an orgasm?
Okay, so before I even let you know what that is, I just wanted to do a disclaimer that I am not a sexologist or a sex therapist yet. And so with that being said, an orgasm in my description is a really intense, pleasurable feeling that you experience with a sexual or a non-sexual kind of interaction. And maybe hopefully we can dive into that.
Yeah.
Because when we hear the word orgasm, we think only of sexual intercourse.
Mm.
But an orgasm is that really intense, that powerful, that jerk feeling. You know, when it hit that spot and you get sleepy after. You know, it's that really intense, pleasurable feeling. And it's bomb when you experience it.
Yeah.
Facts.
And many people actually can experience it, but not everyone does.
Yes.
And so,
And let's talk
See, and
about
that's
that.
what we want to touch on because I know some people who like are our age. By the way, we're around like 28, 29. And they have never had an orgasm before, and it's to the point where they think that they can't.
Right.
So is from your experience, you know what I'm saying? Do you know if everyone is capable of having an orgasm?
I absolutely think everyone can have an orgasm.
Right.
I really think it depends on a lot of different factors. So some of it can be, you know, biology. A lot of it can really be just understanding our own sexuality.
Right.
And so when you look at it, you know, men versus, you know, women and the man's orgasm.
Right.
So when you look at the genitalia, the men, the penis is, it's about, I think, 4,000 nerve endings, and women have 8,000 nerve endings. And so the clitoris is a huge topic. We can go into that. But when it comes to reaching that orgasm, I think it's just the science of knowing how to.
Exactly.
So I'm going to, you know, slow myself down there, but I think just to answer your question that everyone can reach an orgasm.
Okay.
Everybody's body is just different.
And another thing that came up like previously is that some people are just not relaxed enough or comfortable enough with their partners, and that's what's preventing them from having an orgasm. You think that's obviously a factor?
Yes. So when we look at just orgasms, and when we think about heterosexual couples, and, you know, looking at the man and the woman, I think women, and this is just kind of my perspective, women experience more orgasms on a more of like a intellectual, you know, emotional connection.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
Men, from what I know, is, you know, they receive more orgasms than women, but the women experience more intense orgasms depending on that emotional.
That's key. That's key to understand, and like understand the difference that you can have different levels of orgasms, and like there can be a very intense version that's, you know, mind, body, and soul, and there could be one that's just body. And I think that's very important for people to know that an orgasm, like you said, is not just only physical. Sometimes it can be a mental thing. So let's tap into that. Like, have you ever had like a different orgasm experience than you would say the normal is physically? Did you have like a mental orgasm experience? Have you ever had anything like that that would be out of like the norm?
Oh, that's a good question. Yes, I think an orgasm can span within a few seconds, like 5 seconds to about 20, 30 seconds, depending on how intense that orgasm was.
Right.
So when, like for example, masturbation versus like all that foreplay before the actual sexual experience, like right. So I have actually experienced an orgasm only that deeply with a woman.
Let's touch on it. Okay. Let's talk about it.
But you know, and I think too when we talk about orgasms, that I don't think we really be able to understand that there's a difference between like an orgasm and what makes it, whether it's like pleasure or intimacy, is it physical and emotional. Like I just really think the emotional connection, the attachment that you have with the person can really play a part in how intense that orgasm is. Like if the person is able to understand, and if you are able to understand your own body and know what feels good to you, right?
Okay.
And so to be able to communicate that, whether with someone, and to just discover it yourself. When you discover it yourself, I mean, that orgasm can feel amazing.
Right.
You know, we've had really small ones before. Yeah, it's like, a quick, quickie.
Right.
Right, whether it's solo or with someone else. But when you're in that moment, when you're in that vibe, when that connection is there and you're able to be vulnerable, I feel like the orgasm can just be so intense. And there's a lot of benefits when it comes to orgasm.
Yeah.
So. Did that answer your question? I think I want the whole little...
No, that definitely answered my question. That was
good.
Really, really good. Do you think the reason why your best orgasm experience was with a woman was because women understand their own bodies?
Personally speaking, I think that a woman, like when I had sex with a woman and we were together for about 2 years, the reason why I orgasmed so well, so deeply, was because I felt like I can communicate with her what I like and what I didn't like, and that she understood me, and it was more of a emotional connection.
So it was less ego.
It was less ego, but I think also my own like past when it comes to sexual experiences with men. And so where I felt vulnerable and comfortable to let myself go. So I don't think it had a lot to do with her specifically, but in some ways it does, because women, we know you gotta give us some foreplay. You can't just jump right in. Like for men, all they really need is just that constant push, that just that same speed, get it wet, because their spot is right there, the tip of their dick. It's right there, and the woman's clitoris is just as right there too. The thing is, it takes a little bit more science, a little bit more suave. Like you gotta do a little bit more artwork. You gotta get us wet. Like you gotta get us wanting that. So it just takes a little bit more time for women to reach that point where, man, they can reach it very very quickly, but their refractory period is a little bit more longer than a woman. So even though they orgasm very quickly, the refractory period is a little bit longer. They experience more orgasms than women do because.
Can you touch on refractory period? In layman terms?
It's just really that time to give it a rest. Like, just kind of everything just kind of settles. I don't, didn't dive too much. I'm still learning about that, but from what I understand is just the ability to kind of like just sit back and just hold up. Let me sit with those little chemicals flying around in my body. It feels good. Let me just kind of sit in this for a second.
Right.
Okay.
But the women, when it comes to women, I don't know if you ever experienced an orgasm and then really wanting to get back at it right away.
Yeah, and you can do that as a woman, but as a man, you need more time, is what you're saying.
But we had a man here to kind of give us that answer. It can depend on the man. Like, I don't want to say all men experience that. Some men can get back on a horse like that. Like, come on, baby, I'm round 3, 4, 5. So it just really depends. I think it depends on the man, on the biology, or their...
Right.
Touche.
Yeah, but...
Yeah.
And their experiences too.
Yes.
Depending, I guess, how experienced you are, you kind of know your body, know what it can and can't do, and all that fun stuff.
Sheesh. Okay, so.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit stuck because
Okay.
I'm gonna ask a question, but I'm not trying to put nobody on the spot. So.
How open are you with your sexual partners? This is for everybody across the board.
Okay.
So how open are you with your sexual partners?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect. Because I was about to put you on the spot and you looked down real quick, so I was like, let me not.
Go ahead.
Anyways.
Go ahead.
How open?
Yes.
I would say I am very open, but it's because my sexual partners are women. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like Tina was touching on. It's like a connection that you build.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I think women, obviously I'm biased because I'm a woman who dates women. But I think we communicate better. And so like she said, there's less ego. I could talk to you. You could talk to me. You could, you know what I'm saying? Whatever adjustments. I think we take feedback better.
So
you know what I'm
your
saying?
feelings don't get hurt. You're like, ooh, that was whack.
Well, first and foremost, I've never had someone tell me I was whack. But if that was the situation, we would talk about how I can improve. Because I'm not just gonna be like, oh, okay, damn, that sucks. Like,
Right.
be like, okay, like, what's cracking? Like,
Right.
what can I do? You feel me? But nah, I think I'm very open. And so far, my partners have been too.
Dope.
You?
I would say for me, it's not always easy to be very open with my partners initially until I get to like really know you and feel comfortable. I think that's just like the person I am naturally, because I have to like really, really feel comfortable with you understanding my mind, body, and soul. So if we're sharing something together, then it's gonna take me some time, but there is gonna become a point where I will be very blunt and just tell you like, okay, we gotta do something different, or we gotta change things up, or let's try this, or let's do that. So I'm very open to having these open conversations about sex and whatever kind of fantasies they may have or whatever the conversation goes towards, but it just takes me some time to get to that point. But eventually, yeah.
Okay.
I like what you both are saying. You both are mentioning the part of communication.
Yeah.
Right? And so, like your experience, Jay, with more women, and your experience with your boyfriend,
Right.
like the underlining here is communication. And so I think like the reason why I feel like I haven't had a lot of orgasms with like a man, just because I think it's just, gotta give me a little bit more work.
Yeah.
So, your question was, am I open to communicating that?
Yes.
And I am. I think then I had to figure out and discover, you know, my own sexuality and what I
Right.
like. And I like I need a lot of
Right.
attention to my clit.
Right.
I need a lot of pre-stimulation. I need a lot of
Yes.
stimulation.
For sure.
And so I think really whether you're in a homosexual or heterosexual relationship, it really comes down to being able to communicate,
Yes.
to listen, and to respect the boundaries of each other,
Yes.
because that's so important.
Right.
And you know, if you are expressing to your partner like, hey, can you just rub it a little bit more, right? Can you
Right.
kiss it a little bit more? Can you caress it a little bit more, right? Can we just talk a little bit more? Can we just connect a little bit more before we get down and dirty?
Right.
I mean, it can make a big difference.
Right.
And so before, I think when I had my first, you know, few sexual experiences, I was unsure of what I wanted because I was not comfortable with my own sexuality. And I just didn't know, you know, because from at a young child, like what you're taught, like, oh, don't touch there, you know, that's bad. Don't be touching that. Don't be masturbating. Don't be playing with you, right? Don't be playing with your tail. Like, so it's kind of like a stigma on it, right? And so I think when we accept like who we are and just be able to heal from whatever, you know, that we've been through in our past, we're able to be very open to our partners and say, you know what, I like this, I don't like that.
Right.
And the partner has to be able to respect what you don't like.
Right.
And if they don't, then
Time to get you a partner.
Right, we got a problem.
I want to touch on that though, because I think that's true too, as far as, you know, the whole topic orgasming and just how comfortable you are with sex and how comfortable you are with your partner.
Right.
I think it does have to do with your environment and your upbringing and
Yes.
you know what I'm saying, your
Your
relationship
mindset.
towards sex, because I grew up in a, you know, Christian household. My parents are pastors and stuff. And so we didn't talk about sex. All it was like, don't have sex till you're married.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm over here gay as hell. Like,
Parents' favorite line.
I'm like,
Damn.
well, I don't know shit, dog, because
Right.
like we not even talking about the kind of sex I'm finna be having.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you really do have to like have a healthy relationship with yourself and your own
Yes.
sexuality, with how you view sex, and
Yes.
then you can be open with your partner.
Yes.
But depending on, you know, your upbringing or traumatic experiences or whatever, that might not be the same for everybody across the board, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I even think of like the lack of intimacy. Like I think for a long time I thought intimacy meant sex.
Okay.
And I think also too, just from like my learning, I'm still learning. So y'all, I'm still learning. But when it comes to like your own attachment to like your parents or just people in your family can also affect your willingness to be intimate with other people.
Yeah.
And so, like intimacy can be, you know, sitting down just talking.
Right.
Intimacy can be going on a walk together, right? Could be braiding the hair. It can just be any kind of love language if you think about it.
Exactly.
And so, I think intimacy, being able to develop that in a relationship can just not only help the communication, the understanding, listening, the boundary settings, just being able to have a healthy sex life with your partner, intimacy is needed.
Yeah. Do you understand why the media tries to portray intimacy just being sexual? Like, why do they do that versus saying like holding hands is very intimate, taking long walks together is very intimate, just sitting down and having conversation is like, why don't they showcase more of that versus it just being, to be intimate you have to be sexual?
I mean, look at our movies.
Exactly.
Hear our music.
Exactly.
Right?
That's
I mean,
true.
it's just like, it's the Western world, you know? I think it's just, it's put out there, you know, at a young age. I mean, little kids can see it, like everyone looks at it and they see, oh, this is the idea of what it is, right? And so if I don't have this, then I'll never have it.
Right.
But you can have intimacy without being sexual with someone.
Exactly.
You can have that. And I think that it's not discussed enough. I think it's not broadcast enough. And so it's important for like our parents and me, I'm a mother, to teach my daughter the difference between intimacy, sex, and pleasure.
Right.
Those three things are all different, but they all kind of coincide to something that can be powerful. An orgasm.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm fucking going on a tangent. I'm
No,
so sorry.
you're good.
My mind is
This
like,
is perfect.
I feel like you're adding a lot of value.
No, a lot of value and points.
I just recently saw a picture about intimacy, right?
Okay.
And it was a man and a woman who both had locks, and they were washing each other's
Ah.
locks.
Oh.
And I'm like, that's dope. Because
Yes.
kind of like you said, a lot of media does portray like, yo, sex, and like you said, the music,
Yeah.
like, let's get it popping, take
Right.
it back to the crib,
Right.
you know, whatever.
Twerking, dropping it low.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And it's like,
Ain't nothing wrong with
that's,
that, you know?
that's sexual, you know what I'm saying? But
Exactly.
intimate, like, I don't know what's more intimate than like sitting down between your partner's leg and they greasing your scalp. Like,
Right.
that's
Yes.
intimate, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
that's love, dog.
Right.
Like, dang,
Right.
take care of my roots. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, but we don't see that enough. And so I think the more we see things, the more we can resonate with them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if you don't see it, then it's just like, oh, that's not
That's not
intimate.
Right.
Yeah,
That's not
that's
love.
that's not love.
You know. And it's all blurred lines, you know, if we are not able to communicate that. And when it comes to just sex education, just knowing yourself, knowing what you like, knowing what you don't like, that's so important, knowing what you don't like.
Yeah.
And being able to express that.
Right.
Because,
Explain
you know,
it, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if any of you had an experience where you were in you were having sex and maybe you weren't really feeling it, you didn't really want it, but, you know, just gotta, right?
Right.
And so, a fake orgasm, right? We all have to, okay, God, thank God that's over. Like, but it shouldn't have to be that way, right? It shouldn't have to be that way if you're not feeling it. And you know what? I'm not feeling it tonight.
You laughing too much, bro.
Right?
You got something you want to share?
There should be room.
No, it's just funny because I know too many stories from like friends and people telling me just of bad sex hookups, whatever the case may be. So it's just funny to kind of like sit back and just remember all those stories and just even bad sex that I've had.
Yeah.
Dang.
It is what it is.
That's
Sometimes
real.
it happens.
Understanding your own sexuality is a journey, like going through
Yes.
like it yourself. That's something that I know that I'm working on.
Yeah.
Like, you know, accepting the moments where, hey, you know what, I'm masturbating shit and it is okay.
Exactly.
Just being able to just accept like who you are, right?
Right.
And loving your body the way it is.
So I think that's looked down upon too.
Oh,
You know what I'm
very
saying?
much
Like
so.
masturbation is looked down upon.
Oh yeah, it
It's
is.
so
Oh,
negative.
you
It's just
want hell.
So it's
But
like, I don't know.
It's all
But it's all our relationship. Like you said, it's our relationship and our view with sexuality and
And
who
how
we
we were
are
brought
as
up.
people and
Yeah.
how comfortable
Right.
we are with our own bodies. Because some people are not comfortable with their
No.
bodies, you know?
No,
Or some
no,
people
well,
just have the
exactly.
notion of, you know, whatever they've been taught. You're not supposed to touch yourself. You're supposed to, you know what I'm saying? You're supposed to wait till marriage. All of that's a sin. Like, all right, man.
Right.
You know?
Do nothing.
Sheesh. And there might be some people who do want to wait until marriage.
Yeah.
And that is also very beautiful too.
Absolutely.
And,
1000%.
and you can build that intimate relationship without having the physical.
And they probably know more about intimacy than most.
Most definitely.
Probably, yeah.
Most definitely, right?
Most
Because when you
definitely.
get that physical, like, you know, intercourse, when you get sex, I mean, it can cloud a lot of different things, right? But just on the topic of orgasm, sorry, I'm not going to go off, but there's benefits to orgasm.
Yeah.
It can help with depression.
Hey.
You ever
Feeling
orgasm and you feel like you can go ahead and go clean a yard and go shopping and go to the mall? You get real perky after you orgasm, right? Or after you get a little sleepy, but you feel a little bit more like, I can handle this.
Right.
Right? It boosts those feel good hormones.
Right.
And you know, then you also get very relaxed.
Right.
Right? And then you also just kind of connect.
Yeah.
It's a really like powerful experience when the orgasm is done right.
Exactly. And it's needed.
It's needed.
So men, get it right.
You ever been stressed out and haven't had an orgasm in a while?
Ooh.
What is yelling at everybody.
What is it like? The endorphins or serotonin or something? Something gets released when you orgasm.
When you orgasm.
And that's why,
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, I'm good.
It's
That's all I
beneficial.
needed.
That's all I need.
all
That's
fixed.
all I need, right? So it's important to have an orgasm.
Very important. And so we wanted to light the topic and just kind of educate and talk through just kind of things that maybe you guys are concerned about or have questions about when it comes to sex education, orgasms, anything in general. But we just want to bring it to light so you guys have a space where you can feel like you can connect and come talk to us about, or if you had questions, feel free to drop a comment. We're happy to discuss it. But Tina, thank you.
You're welcome. But I know there's one thing I wanted to kind of discuss with you, see if
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah.
Is that, I don't know if we already mentioned it, but you don't have to necessarily have sex to have an orgasm.
Yeah, okay,
Yes.
yeah.
You don't have to, oh God, I gotta have sex to have an orgasm. You
Right.
can, there's masturbation.
Yes.
There's also just being intimate with yourself and just rubbing some oil on your skin after you get out the shower.
Right.
Pay attention to those areas that you haven't paid attention to.
Right.
Get some elbows.
Right.
Get them knees.
Get them knees.
Right? Just caress your skin. Like,
Love
touch yourself.
yourself.
Like, it's nothing to be ashamed of. Like, we have to love ourselves. We have to love our bodies. Because if
Absolutely.
we don't, who gonna do it right?
Right. Or how you gonna know what you need?
How we gonna tell them?
Right.
So like it's just even being able to just feel good, right? To get that pleasure, learn what you like, learn what you don't like, sit in it. It just feels good. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to just be that physical penetration
Nope.
or
Right.
clitoral stimulation.
Right.
For us women, I mean, the
Exactly.
best sex was with a woman. Ain't gonna lie.
Let me know.
That was a great college experience, man. It was great. And you know what? With the Shane.
Yeah. Shout
Just-
out to you.
Yes, because I know I watch her quite a lot, and I
Yes.
love that segment she put up with being able to communicate with your partner of like what you like whether it's like touching and penetration. Like, I need a vibrator. Can I bring it to the bedroom? I like the pillow between my thighs. I love that little piece.
Yeah.
And there's also a lot of resources out there if you want to learn more about understanding your sexuality, being able to increase your sexual confidence. I don't know if you wanted to put them in your show
Yeah.
notes.
Yeah.
But I can
We'll
do
definitely
it.
drop them.
Yeah, we'll get that from you.
Okay.
That's
Cool.
so dope. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And thank you so much for being on the show.
Right.
Coming out, dropping some knowledge and perspective. And we're excited to see you fully go through this journey of becoming a sexologist.
Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready to learn a lot. So I'm in the beginning stages.
Yay.
So I just gotta take my test. And
She'll be back on the show, letting us know how things are
Congratulations.
going.
Right.
Give me a few years, y'all.
All right, guys. Well, every Thursday you'll find us here.
7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.
Cheers.
Everything is over sexualized, but somehow sex is still taboo. Got your kids learning from this world instead of learning from you. Why can't we have necessary conversations that provide clarification on the differences between sex, love, and intimacy? Because although the three can be intertwined, they are completely separate entities in and of themselves. Some of us only understand one without the others. The sex be truly fire, but don't know how to love one another. How can we be so fluent in our native tongue, but never learned our partner's love language? We be so focused on the climax that we never made it a priority to understand the actual story. We got to do better for the sake of the people that we say we love.